the rumble strip was about to get us, and it was about to get us bad. But we pulled it back. We got the wheel back on here because we've got to talk about racism.
No.
We do.
It's those Republicans being racist.
Worse, it comes where you least expect.
Oh
no, that's what I was about to say. It always comes where you don't see it coming. It always gets you. It always sneaks up on you. It turns out Gavin Newsom, who I'm pretty sure is a leftist sycophantic liar, with a lot of hair gel.
Greece is racist? No.
Yeah, Greece, hair gel. Yes. No. Greece isn't.
Oh, okay.
What he's done is, and through his attorney general. So it turns out it'll get you. It'll get you. This is number 8. This, again, is the LA Times. I don't know what happened on the internet yesterday, but a lot of leftist organizations were like, maybe if we did something to keep Braden alive. So here we go. If we must rely on history and tradition to assess gun laws, does racist history count? Oh,
spicy.
My God. And it says California. California dreaming. Mamas and the papas. Don't eat a ham sandwich. That's right. She died. It's unfortunate.
Don't tell me the old Gavster
you,
wants to bring back slavery because there's history and tradition there. It's a joke. It's a joke.
No. He does not want to do that.
It's a terrible
joke. It's a horrible joke. You are awful. I mean, like, here's the thing.
Okay.
He did not
At least he
say
didn't go that far.
However, comma. No, he didn't go that far. However, comma. The attorney general and all of their staff did lean on those same laws that applied to those same level of people in order to get gun control. And then they spend about, I don't know, the whole article trying to figure out how they do it, but they don't do it. And St. Benitez comes in. Let's get it from February 7th, 2024, people. As attorneys for the state of California prepared recently to defend in federal court a state law requiring background checks for ammunition purchases, they found themselves in an awkward position.
That never happens.
Okay, well, Tim, it never happens. What do you think that awkward position was? If you had to just stab in the dark with one of your zombie knives from the UK, what would it be? What do you think?
Federal court, I don't know. They're gonna claim that it's racist somehow. I don't know. What do we got here?
No. That is your usual expectations coming through. That's your bias. They went a completely different way. Here's number 10. Under a U.S. Supreme Court ruling from 2022, gun control measures are legitimate only if they are deeply rooted in American history and tradition or are sufficiently similar to some other centuries-old law, which we've covered numerous times. That's the Bruin decision. The state lawyers had conducted a deep dive through hundreds of years of American jurisprudence and identified dozens of historical laws that they felt bolstered the modern law's legitimacy by showing that the government has long limited access to firearms and ammunition.
Hold on.
So right there, Tim, that sounds so fruitly.
But
nice.
What's odd is like some of the earliest anti-gun laws in the United States were actually brought about to disarm freed slaves. They didn't want the freed slaves taking up arms against their former slave masters. And so that's where the earliest gun control comes from, is actual racism and trying to deny freed Americans their rights they desperately needed.
You know, it's interesting that you say that. It's interesting you say that, Tim, because as we peruse into number 11, there was a problem. Many of the historical laws they found were virulently racist, restricting access to weaponry for enslaved people, indigenous Americans, and other racial minorities. In the end, hold on for it, wait for it. In the end, the attorneys in California, Attorney General Rob Bonta's office decided to push ahead and cite the laws, but with a major caveat.
It's okay, folks. We did it once before. Look, we didn't let the freed slaves have guns. We didn't want the American Indians having guns. We can do this.
Exactly. Yeah, we're good, right? Now, I think it would be an important segment here to bring in some other history that we saw recently out of Texas. Now, this came in the Fifth Circuit, Tim, and tell me if you remember this. When we were talking about the tactical machining case around the ghost guns under Biden's ATF new rules that they just materialized out of nothing, they actually reference 16th and 17th century laws as history, text, and tradition, where they basically discriminated, exactly word for word, Protestants, Catholics, and indigenous peoples. And that was the reason which they could do it. And that was the federal government, the ATF. So we also saw it in the exact same thing in the Rahimi case. All of these cases are bringing up and pointing to racism and disparities amongst racial groups for the rights of which they cannot or can have, depending on their skin color, by the federal and state governments, all of which are leftist organizations at this time.
And they're using this history and tradition to justify
make
future
this up.
denial of rights to American citizens.
Correct.
And, yeah.
Correct.
But hey, this is the exact same party.
Every single person to see this.
Proposed and passed these laws 150 years ago. It's the same group. There was no great switching.
Correct.
Don't believe that lie of the party. These are the exact same people that enacted these racist laws back then, now using those racist laws to justify future racist laws.
Yeah.
Cool.
Isn't that weird? And
some
while we're
things never
change. Isn't it
change.
great? Isn't it? It's like history. It's like bell bottoms and mullets. They just come back, The thing that really just boggles my mind, man. This is where I've got some of the greatest stuff coming, and we haven't even gotten to it yet. But the stuff that boggles my mind about this is Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. Abolishing slavery, Republican.
Mm-hmm.
KKK, Democrat. Segregation, Democrat. Gun control against minorities, Democrat. And somehow, those dang conservatives, they just hate everybody not like them. What are you smoking? It is maddening. And all of that is historical reference. You can look it up if you were new.
This is the power of propaganda,
let's go.
Right? The loudest voice in the room that keeps repeating the lies, the loudest and most often, is the one that gets heard and then ultimately believed. And that's the Democrats and the far left have capitalized on this forever.
That's true. Because it's true.
Thank you, Gavin.
Speaking of Satan. Yes, Satan. So if we go to number 12, listen, Tim, it's okay because they put a caveat.
Oh, yes,
you know that
yes,
caveat we were talking about? That really important caveat? Yeah, here comes the caveat. This is number 12. Quote, the Attorney General in no way condones laws that target certain groups on the basis of race, gender, nationality, or other protected characteristics, they wrote in a footnote to their 2023 filing. But these laws are part of the history of the Second Amendment and may be relevant to determining the traditions that define its scope, even if they are inconsistent with other constitutional guarantees.
Talk about circular logic, man. That goes full circle.
Oh,
that's
my
dragon eating
God.
its own tail right there, folks. Wow. We're not really saying
it's literally like, well,
we're not really racism is bad. We understand these laws were racist, but I mean, come on, the laws were there. We put them there, so why can't we just bring them back?
We got
the history and tradition.
It's oh my God, man! Literally, if you had this falls under your butt law, by the way. The first half doesn't matter, but and then everything after is what they really think.
Rule.
100% the butt rule. The thing that bothers me so much about this is they literally talk out of both sides of their face in the same paragraph. Like they don't even let you ascertain through multiple paragraphs. It's the same stupid paragraph. We are completely against any type of laws that target certain groups and all protected characteristics, ethnicities, all this. But in trying to define the Second Amendment scope and really understand the history of it,
for those of you that aren't familiar
fine.
with the butt rule, the butt rule says that whenever somebody's talking, especially a politician, everything they say before the word but, you can disregard. It's a lie. So that entire first sentence, disregard it. But these laws, read it from there, and that's what they really think. So anyway. Hey, well, I got a question for you, Brady. So history and tradition, and we can include bad things. Maybe we can bring back burning witches at the stake. I mean, there's history and tradition there.
Ooh, you know what? It is not cool, but that is history and tradition.
And then if we don't like a particular female, we can put her in water and see if she floats or not. If she drowns, she's okay. She's acquitted. If she floats, she's a witch and we burn her. I mean, we have history and tradition there.
It's true. That's actually very true. It's a good point. She did turn me into a newt.
I got better though. Yeah. I got better.
I love that movie. I got better. What else floats? Small rocks, churches. Oh, sorry.
Duck. Yeah, I know.
I love that movie. A duck. Yes.
Monty Python, folks.
Monty Python, Quest for the Holy Grail. Yep. You guys are all welcome. So, again, I'm gonna set this up, Tim, Because remember Gavin Newsom, remember what he said about Roger T. Benitez, the honorable, the saint, Roger T. Benitez, the guy who has struck down AR bans, mag bans, and the ammo background checks in California. Okay. Said he was a terrible person. Said he was in the pocket of the NRA. He was insane. He was just out for random destruction. Well, turns out that when the state of California argued for racist backing for gun control, this is what he said. This is 13. Last week, U.S. District Judge Roger T. Benitez rebuked the state for relying on such racist laws in a decision that tossed out California's ammunition background check as unconstitutional. Benitez rejected the notion that they might represent a legal tradition to be considered under the High Court's Bruin decision. So the guy that Gavin Newsom said is so evil and so bad is saying, yeah, maybe you can't use racism to propagate more gun control.
Yeah. Such a bad guy.
What does that tell you? But honestly, what does that tell you? Who's castigating whom and who's saying what? We have it all right here on record in court documents.
I know.
I'm just saying. Well, here's what he said. This is number 14. This sounds like the rantings of a madman right here, Tim. Quote, Roger T. Benitez. These 50 laws identified by the Attorney General constitute a long, embarrassing, disgusting, insidious, reprehensible list of examples of government tyranny towards our own people, Benitez wrote. And such repugnant historical examples of prejudice and bigotry will not be used to justify the state's current infringement on the constitutional rights of citizens.
I bet you those lawyers in old Grease Master are kind of walking funny after that one. Woo! That had to hurt going in and coming out. That's wow. That is
perfect. It's perfect.
That's
exactly what just happened,
dude. I mean, that is not that's not beating around the bush in the slightest. He
correct.
That's a straight up face punch, folks. Wow.
Exactly. That's a throat punch. So that's the old dunk. But so, and here's my big thing, and this is what's so infuriating, and people of the Second Legacy, let me know in the comments on this one, because I think you guys feel the same way. These are the people who the media, the gun controllers, the leftists, they will stand on anything and everything in order to rally a certain demographic based on who the victim of the week is, by splitting into demographic buckets based on race, ethnicity, sexuality, whatever it is. They need a victim. Those same people were arguing against the rights for all, equal rights for every single individual. The guy they castigate says this is BS, you can't do this, and the media is silent on it. That one little snippet that I just read you, that should be on every news article, on newscast. If this were the other way around, I guarantee you that would be on every single media platform out there against the right. I guarantee it.
You know, Gavin and all of his little cronies got exposed for their extreme racism and trying to use racist past actions to impose new restrictions on Americans. Does this mean they're going to switch parties now?
Oh, yeah. Another great
switch in the works here? Are we going to have?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Go ahead.
I don't know. But sorry.
Inquiring minds want to know. I mean, do we got another switch on? Is there a switch coming down the road? Because I want to watch this one happen because I missed the last one.
I don't know. It's 2024. That's true. So this part right here should be the coup de grace. And this is all from the LA Times. I would like to reiterate. This is the last one, Tim. This is from Adam Winkler. Okay. Adam Winkler has a history of supporting gun control briefs in court. Quote, if we look at history and tradition, said Adam Winkler, a UCLA law professor who focuses on Second Amendment law, we see a whole bunch of racist gun laws.
Yeah. We've been saying that since forever.
Well, yeah. And listen to how this article ends. Again, this is the LA Times. I should send them flowers. Here it is. Liberal states such as California and other advocates for gun control are in a quandary. They don't want to focus attention on old racist laws that are an anathema to their modern commitments to diversity, equity, and justice. But doing so may be their last best chance at upholding background checks and other gun control measures. Oh, man, do you need anything
make this
else?
Into a poster, you know, and
oh
wow,
my God,
that came from the LA Times. Oh man.
Yes.
I mean, they're eating their own. I mean, they had, this is a random act of journalism here, folks.
It is.
Wow.
I could not deliver something more damning in all my videos in a year compared to that. and I put out like 800 to 1,000 a year, I could not do the damage that could do.
But nobody will hear about it
it's
because
so
nobody's going to
insane.
talk about it except us. It's just, where's Newsmax, right? Pick this up, guys. Fox.
Oh, man.
Right.
Somebody
pick this
please.
up.
It's so delicious and tasty. Well, you know what? I think you're onto something though. I think putting it on a poster or something where we can have something tangible to get to people. I think
put it on business cards.
Into that.
Hand it out,
I think we'll look into that
at gun shows, gun stores,
go.
various industry events. Like, did you see this? Did you see this? And eventually, it'll get out there, and everybody will be talking about it.
Throw that out there.